friends. Soul tribe reading. I don't know why I'm so excited. It's funny. I'm in this weird energy right now. It just started when I hit, I guess it kind of started in the other reading I was doing. I got a little bit, I was picking up the energy of, the love in the reading. But seriously, I felt this weird excitement come over me when I hit record for Soul Tribe reading, and I saved you for last. I don't know why I saved you for last. Maybe because it's my favorite. Do you know? Soul Tribe reading, pointless information. When you eat food, do you save the thing on the plate that you like the most for last, or do you eat it first? Anyway, I always save the thing I like for last. I always save the thing I like the best to eat last. That's the last thing I want touching my mouth. So today you came last, my friends, and not because I was putting you on the back burner or anything like that. Just because I don't want to, it was almost like it's like you're my little treat at the end of my day. I don't want to say it like that, but kind of. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. I was thinking about you guys this morning. Sometimes I get downloads. I didn't know they were downloads until I started doing Soul Tribe readings. But sometimes I get downloads in my kitchen when I'm talking to my partner. I'll go down there first thing in the morning and I'll start like talking about things that I'm experiencing or just whatever. And I even said to him, like, you're getting all my Soul Tribe material right now. But I just want to talk a little bit about something because I need to talk about it with someone who understands and someone who's not looking at me like I'm crazy. But I talk about some of the stuff on my YouTube channel sometimes. I've talked to you guys about how, I was put on medication at a very young age. Yes, I believe that some people need medication, but I also feel like a lot of people are over-medicated because it's easier than getting to the root of the problem. It's easy for, medical professionals just to prescribe something. I don't know why I'm whispering. It's like I'm afraid the internet's going to hear me. But a while ago, I posted a song by someone named Ren, and it was called Hi Ren. And I said it like I was singing the song. Sorry, that's how it starts. Hi Ren. But from what I understand about this singer, he is someone who had a lot of medical problems, and he was over-medicated for a really long time. And in like his darkest days where he was the most isolated, he started creating music. And the song Hi Ren is like, I don't know how to describe it the way that like people with a lot of words and things, I don't know how to describe it like they do. But what I took from the video was it's like watching his ego and his intuition have a showdown against each other. And he's saying to his ego, like, I don't need you anymore. I don't need the medication anymore. And his ego's like, what do you mean you don't need me? Of course you need me. You'll never be rid of me. You'll always need me. Sorry, I don't mean to get so intense. And anyway, he did another song called Sick Boy. And I remember when I first saw it, I was like really affected by it. Because it's about how, the medical system is kind of flawed, and about how, he was sitting at a table with a medical professional and they were asking him what was wrong. And they were like, well, here, take this pill, come back in 3 weeks so we can make sure the side effects aren't too bad for you. Anyway, this song has been removed. I probably shouldn't even be talking about it. But this song has been removed. I saw him post that it's been forcibly removed from the internet. Like it's been banned. This song Sick Boy. And he was talking about how he's put so much energy and time and money into making this music video. And now it's like he's not allowed to post it. It's been like forcibly removed. So this morning when I heard that, I actually went on YouTube and I looked it up, and there is someone who has it posted and it hasn't been taken down. I probably shouldn't even be saying this because they're probably going to take it down. Maybe they're going to take me down. But it gives me this weird feeling of being silenced, of, I used to be someone who looked at people who said things about the government and medication and conspiracy theories. I used to look at them and be like, you're a little... And now I'm one of them. I'm like starting to see through the veil. I'm starting to see through the veil. And this morning when I was trying to discuss this music video with my partner, and I'm like, maybe he's onto something, like maybe he's onto something, and I started to think about how, as I started to try and talk about it to my partner, but as children, we're forced to conform. Our beliefs and the magic is like beaten out of us, and we're forced to conform, and we're told we have to be a certain way, and we have to be smart. We have to be a certain level of smart. Until we're that smart, we can't move on in life, and we have to be just like our peers. And anyway, the minute that I started talking about this, I could see, like I could feel like I hit a wall. And that, when it comes to that stuff, my partner and I, on two completely different pages, he's not a bad person. He's not a bad person. He's supportive of everything I believe in. But in that moment, I was just like, I can't talk to you about this. I was like, I can't talk to you about this. I feel a mental wall. I know you don't believe in it. Anyway, I don't even know what my point was. I think my point was I just wanted to talk to someone who is kind of on the same wavelength as me. And like, why are they trying to silence him? Because he has a point? Because he speaks the truth? If it wasn't the truth, then it wouldn't matter. But if there's truth to it, maybe that's why they're trying to silence him. Does that make sense? Makes sense to me. And then I think about all the stupidity of it. Like, I think about how, like on tarot cards, for this has nothing to do with anything, but like people can post videos of being in skimpy clothing and almost nothing, like almost everything showing. That kind of shaking their booties and all that can be posted. But a tarot card like this needs to be covered up. Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. But my whole point is that I was sitting in my kitchen and I was like, I'm talking to someone who doesn't agree or believe in these things that I'm talking about. So at that point, I just kind of stopped talking and I'm like, to be honest, I don't want to talk about it with you. I said nothing against you. It's just you and I don't have that in common. So I don't feel like continuing to talk about it. Maybe I was fearing judgment a little. Anyway, for some reason I wanted to talk to you about it. I know why, because you're my besties. But I left that conversation feeling like, again, I used to be that person who was like, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. And now I'm on the other side of that. So the fact, yesterday I was talking about feeling a little like an alien with my elbows. And a lot of you, I know, you say you feel like aliens. You feel like aliens too. You feel like, maybe you were told you were a wise soul when you were younger. That's what they always used to say to me. You're so wise. You're such an old soul. I'm waving this book at you like you know what I'm doing. Hang on. Anyway, I was reflecting on it this morning about how, we feel like aliens. And then I started thinking about Starseeds. And then I thought, my Starseed deck. I'll get the Starseed deck for Soul Tribe reading today. It's funny because I had no problem talking to you guys about it. And, you know, I had kind of an honest conversation with my partner and I said, you know, we're very different. I said, I water down a lot of what I say. I said, if I talked to you right now, like with number synchronicities and all the things I know about numerology and the planets and all of that, like he wouldn't even know what to do. Anyway, why am I looking? I'm looking for a card to read you. I haven't even shuffled. But I felt called to get this Starseed Oracle because I feel like if you align with Soul Tribe readings, you could resonate as a Starseed, or I'm hearing Indigo Child, which is something that I only learned about once I started doing readings online. Somebody said, are you an Indigo Child? I think you might be an Indigo Child. And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to go look it up. And I started learning about them. But yeah, you could just feel, you know, like you're not quite made for this earth. So yeah, let's get Starseed cards for you today. That's what I'm going to do. I am on a time here, a time limit. I have to be done in I have to be done in 40 minutes. So let's see if we can do it. I also don't want to rush anything. I don't believe in rushing anything either. When I do tarot and readings, time disappears. And if you have that experience with anything, that means your soul is happy. It means you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. The minute that you start to lose time, I could care less what time it is when I'm doing tarot. I really could. I never, like, I won't, unless I'm doing recordings like this and I like see the time for like numerology and angel numbers. I do not look at the clock when I'm recording. And it's why sometimes, you know, my readings are so long. Interesting. We have the card wait. It's not time yet. Things are being woven. So I am going to read this. We've got a bit of conflicting energy on the bottom, so maybe we have like two different collectives tuning into this reading because we have the energy of wait and then we have the energy of jump in. So actually, Spirit's telling me to actually shuffle out a card. So let's do that. So if you're not familiar with these decks, Rebecca Campbell, artwork by Danielle Noel. There's quite a few of them. I love every single one she's come out with. I love them. There's the Rose Oracle, Working Your Light. There's one about the ocean now, I believe. Anyway, I have them. Oh, look, one came out right away. Your life is a canvas. Artist, manifestation, create, accountability. Beautiful. So what are you creating on your canvas, you know? And I think it makes me think of yesterday, 333 on the timer, when I was talking about, you know, you can do anything you want. Your life can be anything you want it to. You hold that paintbrush. You just have to believe in what you're painting. Your life is a canvas. I love you guys. Have I told you that today? I probably have. But it's still true. Your life is a canvas. Why can't I find this? Because I'm not in the right place. Your life is a canvas. 1, 3, 4. You're the artist of your life. Thank you so much. You guys helped me out with that. Remember that thing I was reading yesterday about saving and accepting? Remember that? You guys are so smart. You guys knew exactly what it meant. Thank you. And none of you make me feel like, you know, how my teachers made me feel like you're an idiot. You're so smart. Anyway, I have to pause this for a minute because my daughter's messaging me a very important message. Very important. I have to pause this to go deal with it. Hang on. That's my gratefulness for the day. Kids are so cute. Sorry, I had to pause it. I'm a magnet for good things in my life. That's your affirmation. I had to pause it because a super important question was, she was wondering if she could wear her new sneakers to go grocery shopping. I picked up the book upside down. Anyway, my answer was yes. what was I going to say? Oh, I was going to tell you that I bought all of my kids' gratitude journals, and I ordered them a gratitude journal and also a book about self-confidence and self-esteem. And I talked about that yesterday, and I remember mentioning, like, I wish I had learned that in school. And one of you beautiful people said that that's, schools aren't supposed to teach that the parents are supposed to teach that. And I wasn't taught that, and I've been trying, since my kids were born, I've been teaching them about healing and about self-esteem and self-confidence and all those things. That's actually one of the best parts of me healing, is that I've been able to turn that around and help instill that in my children. I used to, I know I've said to you guys, I used to fear that I would never know what it was like to accept myself. And then I remember before I had kids, one of my greatest fears with having children was that I wouldn't know how to teach my child to love themselves and be confident in themselves. And I know you guys don't know my kids, and I know I don't talk about them a lot online. That's for, good reason. I experienced something with my kids and the online world, which made me kind of think, nope, no thank you. But my kids are, to me, they're embodying the things that I wanted to embody as a kid. They're all, sure, I've got one kid who's working on people-pleasing tendencies, but for the most part, my kids are all confident, unapologetically themselves, being their authentic selves. Again, it's one of the greatest parts of the healing journey for me, is that I get to then use that to be a much better parent to my children, and to hopefully raise them to, not be so worried about what other people think, and to love themselves and all those things. Anyway, I don't know why. I just wanted to tell you that I bought them a gratitude journal. Okay, now that we're done, my daughter interrupted us and then I kept it going. Earth is known as a planet of manifestation. Your present moment is based on your past thoughts and beliefs. Your current thoughts determine your future. What kind of life do you want to create for the future? What are you being called to create? Reconnect, that's not an affirmation. Reconnect with your manifesting power and align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the vibration that matches them. It's never too late to start, and no experience is required. All you need is an open heart and a mind and consistent daily action. A mind. If you're not sure what you'd like to create, start instead with a feeling of deep gratitude for all that's going on in your life right now. For all that's good in your life right now. State out loud what you're most thankful for. Look for the good in your life, and one thing will be certain: you'll find yourself attracting more and more good experiences into your world. This card is inviting you to see your entire life as a canvas, and the picture is completely up to you. Color it with your thoughts and feelings. Create the life that you most long to live. You may also be called to get more creative in your everyday life. What are you being called to create? How can you express yourself more creatively? Your Starseed Soul Inquiry. What are you being called to create in your life? We just asked that. So yeah, what are you being called to create? Right before I awakened, I was being called to create online, I think I've told you guys this, but I was in this weird energy in my life, and out of nowhere, I was being called to put myself out there online on TikTok, and talk about what it meant to be autistic. I had just found out I was autistic, so I thought, I'm going to I'm going to learn what it means to be autistic, and I'm going to document my journey. And it was that act of that I want to create and putting myself out there is what actually was like what started my spiritual awakening. It put me into contact with like soul contracts that started that spiritual awakening. It's where I discovered tarot. Anyway, so there's a reason you're being called to create is my point. Again, I'm not just trying to talk about myself. My point is that if you're being created to call something, if you're being called to create something, it's because it's part of your plan. It's part of your destiny. It's part of your soul contract. And it could, I'm just seeing someone with a big blank canvas, and you need to paint your picture in order to attract in the people who are meant to see it. You're supposed to paint that canvas because what's on that canvas is what's supposed to attract, the soul connections you're supposed to have, the experiences you're supposed to have, your soul family, your soul tribe. So let's get another one. We have karmic relationships. I've never actually even seen this card. Karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. Interesting. So karmic relationships. The constellation Orion is thought by many to have been a place of great polarity and eventual unity. Some believe that many starseeds who are part of this cosmic history are incarnate on Earth now and are playing out karmic relationships from Orion times. Perhaps you're one of them. Polarity causes conflict and highlights separation. However, because of this, conflict can also result in unity and growth. Too many misunderstandings are caused when we don't open our heart and mind and see things from a different point of view. When we go into reactive second-guessing mode, instead of gathering the courage to open our heart, we should admit that we may have reacted because of our own woundings, and then find mutual ground. We're all innocent children looking to be seen, understood, and cherished. It's much harder to grow closer through conflict than it is to grow further apart. And yet, that's the invitation of conflict. It's easy to react and take things personally. It's more challenging to see the innocence of all involved and to find a way to grow closer through conflict. It's through relationships that we grow the most. How can you soften your heart and drop your defenses enough to see things from a different point of view? How can you see the innocence of all involved? How can you learn to see the similarities rather than the differences? And your starseed soul inquiry is, which relationships do you find the most challenging? How can you see things from a different perspective? How are you being called to allow growth through conflict? So maybe you're being dealt some lessons. Maybe you have some karmic connections. Interesting. And let's get another one. And then I thought I might just get you a few tarot cards because I never get tarot cards. We have the Seas of Mintaka. Is it Mintaka? I don't know. Seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. Beautiful. Look at that beautiful card. So, maybe you're meant to, it's funny because when I was talking about being called to create, When I was talking about being called to create, one of the things that instantly happened to me after I started creating, like instantly, was I came into contact with 3 people. And I know this sounds insane. And at the time, no, it doesn't sound insane. It sounds cosmical. But at the time, I knew it meant something. All of their names started with A. All of them. And I felt like, is this a Bermuda Triangle or something? And if I hadn't painted that canvas or started to paint that canvas, I never would have come across these people. these karmic lessons that were meant to teach me a lesson. And, one of them helped me awaken. And then there was a test or a blockage or something, and we never spoke again. One of them was meant to challenge my views on twin flame connections. One of them, what I say by that is I was being faced with the path of like twin flame connection and learning about twin flame connections. And my intuition was telling me, I think I'm in a twin flame connection. One of these people that I met was telling me, I think, you might be in a twin, like that might be your twin flame. So I started learning about twin flames, and one of the people that I met, one of the karmic connections, was like one of these people who did not believe in twin flame connections, very opinionated about twin flame connections. And at the time, my intuition was telling me that, twin flame connections were real. So I ended up, detaching from that energy because I didn't have I know this sounds weird, but I didn't feel like I had enough light in me to combat that defensiveness, that strong opinion. So I ended up, releasing that connection. But all of those connections taught me something. So again, there's something here about painting your canvas so that these connections that are meant to teach you something can find you. Anyway, let's keep going. The Seas of Mintaka. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. For some reason, I'm being reminded of the movie Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind. Where do they meet? Where do they meet? Does someone know what I'm talking about? She says, meet me, she whispers in his ear, meet me in this. That movie, maybe I should watch that movie. Have you seen that movie? Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind, where they try and erase their memories of each other. Anyway, meet me in whatever. For some reason, this card, Mintaka, is reminding me of whatever that was. I don't know why. Again, the things I mention in readings, someone is always like, that message was for me. Oh my gosh, you guys are so cool. You guys were all like, you watch Star Trek? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I'm rewatching it from the beginning. I'm cool as shit. Seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. Mintaka is thought to have a water-based planet containing the most crystal clear waters you will ever imagine. That's not an affirmation either. Neither is that. So I have to check to make sure it's not an affirmation. So clear that you could see for miles and miles underwater. The Sea of Mintaka, the Seas of Mintaka, oh my gosh, card represents this crystalline clarity of potential and possibility. It's about the ability and choice to see the potential in all people and situations. This could be one of your natural traits, or it could be a sign that what you're currently doing has great potential. Mintakans are thought to have been a galactic race who saw the light in everything and everyone. I think that I'm a Mintaka. Because I don't know how many times I've heard, you're too willing to see the good in people, Kelly. You may have received this card as confirmation that a situation or project has extreme potential and will reach fruition. It's a very positive sign that things are working out for the highest potential of all involved. It's a very uplifting, light-filled card that brings great harmony, contentment, and positive outcomes. Beautiful. My battery's dying. According to Carl Jung, am I saying that right? That which we do not bring to consciousness appears in our life as fate. Interesting. When water appears in dreams and art, it often represents the unconscious mind. Pulling this card also means you may be called to bring light to any unconscious patterns of which you're unaware. to look at them and see clearly and consciously so that they don't appear in your life as fate. Interesting. What unconscious patterns or behaviors are ready to be brought to the light of day? So you could be someone who's supposed to be looking at your patterns right now. Maybe there's a pattern or a response, a reaction that you're missing, I'm hearing. And this is telling you, that if you don't bring it to light now, it's going to be brought to light later. The cream always rises to the top, as my mom used to say. And then we have, interesting, I don't even know where this one came from. We have Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. I don't even know where that came from. It feels like that, to be honest, it feels like that snuck off the top and snuck into our reading, Earth School. So let's see what this says. I know I pulled this card like 2 years ago. I know it. 2 years ago, I can remember pulling this card. So it'll be interesting to read it again. Planet Earth is a great initiation for the soul, and life lessons are the curriculum for which we enroll. These aren't one-time lessons, but themes we choose to circle around, deepening our experience of them as we make our way through the spiral of life. Life lessons aren't only about getting it right, they're also about getting it wrong. Remembering that Earth is a planet of polarity helps with this understanding. Each year, the study deepens more and more. If you pull this card while you're going through a difficult time, you're being prompted to remember that your soul came here to grow and learn. Try not to look at difficult times as getting it wrong. Instead, see them as opportunities for soul growth. If you can find a way to grow and soften your heart through the highs and lows, your soul is most definitely growing, which is the whole point. Yeah! We talk about that all the time around here. Pulling this card can also mean that you're being called to embark on a new area or study of growth. This could be through structured learning, such as university or a training course. If you're having difficulties in a relationship, you're being reminded that these are opportunities for soul growth. After all, relationships are known as the number one way that we grow as souls while we're here on Earth. And that's why we can only be alone for so long before the universe will put a friend or a person in our path to help us teach us lessons. If you were alone all the time, you wouldn't learn any lessons, if that makes sense. Interesting that came out with that Karmic, as well as that Karmic card. I'm being told to get one more from my guides, even though my brain is like, you better wrap this up. We have perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. So interesting. Look at that. Zoom in. There's even a cat hair on there. Zoom in, zoom out. Perspective. Take a step back and look at the bigger picture of your life. Step away from the blinkered vision and reactive frame of mind of me against them. Change your perspective, shift your point of view, and zoom out, out, out. It says it 3 times. Where was I? We are but a speck of dust in the universe, yet we think everything revolves around us. We see the planet as ours to own and conquer, pillaging the land and setting ourselves up for eventual extinction. Can I tell you, I used to watch Pocahontas and I would cry because of the way that they just wanted to conquer lands and take over them and take all the resources from them. And then I watched Soul Tribe Reading, Pointless Information. I watched Koyaanisqatsi. Has anybody ever watched that? And I cried. Koyaanisqatsi, I'm not actually sure what it's supposed to be about. It's been like 10 years, 12, 13 years since I've watched. I'm like drooling. 12, 13 years since I've watched it. I'm still getting used to my retainer. But it shows like from what I remember of it, there's no talking in it. It's just music. And it's a lot about technology and the world, like buildings going up. Again, I can't really tell you what the point of it is. I just remember watching it, being kind of, taken aback by how humans really did try, like, take over the world, and how it just seems like things keep being built and forests keep getting knocked down. And this is why my mom called me an old soul, because these are the things I was worrying about when I was a child. And she'd be like, why are you worrying about these things? Be a kid, have fun. Anyway, I thought I'd mention it in case anybody else wanted to see it or knows what I'm talking about. Koyona Scotsy. Anyway, very powerful music in that. It's all instrumental. You could even look up the soundtrack. I used to listen to the soundtrack. Eventual extinction. That's scary. We build fences and walls to create invisible borders. Mother Earth doesn't need us to survive, but we need her. It's time to wake up. A new perspective is urgently needed. We become so lost in our individual experience that we don't realize that most of the things that keep us awake at night are actually distractions. We're wasting our precious time and resources fighting each other when we should be coming together to heal what has been severed. This moment is a breath in the timeline of your life. This life is a fleeting moment in the tapestry of your soul's experience. Your soul's experience is a flash in the timeline of the known universe. And the known universe is a grain of sand in the unknown universe. Take a moment to see the bigger picture, to find common ground, to find deep compassion in your heart, to gain, I don't know why I'm like twitching, to gain a greater perspective of humanity in this fleeting moment, in the timeline of your soul's existence, in the timeline of all that is, was, and ever will be. And your Starseed Soul Inquiry. How are you being called to change your perspective? So take it as it resonates. Let's get some tarot. I'm actually going to use... it's right in front of my face. Of course it is. I always do that. So I'm going to use this. It's Dreamy Moons Tarot. You guys might have seen me use the black version of this deck, but they released like a cream colored version of this deck. So, I got it, and I just want to see, we're going to read out of the book actually. We're just going to see what messages Spirit wants you to know through tarot. So what do you need to know through tarot? We have Six of Stars coming right out, which is it can be about service. Interesting. Shared wealth, financial balance, reward. This is a card of generosity with strings attached. So let's see what this says. Now with Six of Pentacles, what I was saying is you may have, your calling may be to share your experiences and your healing with others, is what I was hearing. A fairy is generously rewarding two men with stars, but as shown by the scales in her hand signifying balance, her gifts come with a price. You might receive an unexpected reward. Just remember that sooner or later, you will have to give in return to balance the energy exchange. This is a harmonious two-way relationship of I help you and you help me. If you are the one sharing your wealth, this card is a good sign that your gifts will be well received and your generosity will benefit you in the long run. And it's interesting that this came out because I was listening to a reading by Magnetize Yourself yesterday, and she was talking about how if you are someone who overgives and overgives and overgives and you feel like people don't match that energy, that don't worry. It's not like that energy has just been, you've been pouring your energy into something that's, wasted that energy. The way that Magnetize Yourself was explaining it is if you've overgiven or you've been generous with your time, your energy, your love, your help, whatever it is, and the person, like, let's say it's in like a romantic connection, and this person doesn't reciprocate your energy. We talk about karma, right? This card is talking about it too, how you will, in the long run, see the rewards of your effort. Maybe not through that person, is my point. But if you like overgave to someone, that energy that you gave to that person will come back to you someday. Like I said, perhaps in a different connection. So if you're someone who has always been an overgiver, take comfort in knowing that once you learn how to stop overgiving, maybe you don't even have to learn how to stop overgiving, but take comfort in knowing that that energy isn't wasted. It will come back to you eventually. And I'm hearing karma. I think that, for a long time, I thought that there was only bad karma, but that there was only karma when you did bad things, but there's also good karma. No, sorry. I thought there was only karma. What am I talking about? I knew that there was, I know that there's good karma, like do a good deed for someone else and, someone will do something for you. The example I'm thinking of is like when you're driving, letting people in, like I'll let you in and then maybe someday someone will let me in when I need a pass. But you can also receive, the thing that I'm trying to talk about is I specifically learned about how if you are someone who is always overgiving, then you may get karmic lessons in the form of repeated lessons of people taking from you. Does that make sense? But anyway, back to what I was saying about Magnetize Yourself. Even with this Four of Cups on the bottom, you could feel like you're always giving, and you're not seeing it return to you, but you will. I'm being called to share the song Wheel by John Mayer. I think it's called Wheel. And the very final line of that song is, I'm going to see the love I have return to me. I believe that I'm going to see the love I share return to me. That's the line. Wheel by John Mayer is what I was hearing when I was talking about that. But it's not like that energy went nowhere. That energy will be returned to you. Anyway, does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. And we've got the King of Crystals here. Beautiful. King of Swords energy. So let's read what this is about. So, King of Swords, sharing your truth, sharing your voice. King of Crystals, which is King of Swords. Philosophy, strong mind, intellectual power. The King of Crystals radiates wisdom and inner strength. He is a philosopher, mediator, one you would come to for advice regarding solving conflicts and discovering common ground. Some think he is a harsh ruler as he acts without emotion and cuts straight to the point. He doesn't forgive easily and is not likely to change his mind once a decision has been made. The king calls to you to be firm with your choices and not let the opinions of others sway you off your path. Use your logic and intellect to navigate the way ahead. And again, there's something here about sharing your voice, which has been coming out a lot in readings. And we'll just get one more tarot. One more tarot card for you. We have the Emperor, beautiful, and the Empress. Well, I'm sure you're already working on it. If Soul Tribe reading, I'm sure you're already working on balancing your feminine and masculine energies because we talk about it. But that is interesting. So let's see what these cards have to say. For some of you, maybe, you're a counterpart. That could be a message about your counterpart journey for some of you. Reinforce a sense of sovereignty with yourself and take charge of the parts of your life that require attention. If the Empress is the mother archetype of the deck, the Emperor is the father, representing the masculine. He sits on a throne carved with 4 ram heads, symbolic of his connection with Aries, ruled by the planet Mars. His white beard shows that he's had years of experience. He is radiating wisdom and confidence. The Emperor tells you to be responsible for the empire you have created. Where are you falling short? He also encourages you to step into the father figure role, regardless of your gender identity, and protect and provide for your loved ones. Beautiful. Take it as it resonates. And then we have the Empress, which I will read that too. This card reminds you to focus on what is abundant in your life, whether it's finances, health, or meaningful connections. Soul Tribe! Express gratitude for it. The Empress embodies Mother Gaia. Is that how I say it? Gaia? Signifying a strong connection with creative, sensual, and nurturing feminine energy. She stands inside a lush red rose wearing a robe patterned with pomegranates. This is a symbol of beauty, femininity, fertility, and abundance. The Empress also suggests birth. This could be a physical pregnancy or the birth of a new idea or project. No matter what lies ahead, remember to notice and appreciate the beauty around you. I think that's pretty awesome that those 2 cards came out, in my opinion. And now I'm just going to get you an affirmation card. So let's see what you need to hear. Okay. We have my own champion. I am unabashed, unconditional, shouting through the megaphone, champion of myself and my work. If a useless, up to no good, critical voice in my head tries to discourage, dissuade, or diss me, I politely say, thank you for your input. Then I much less politely stuff that critical voice into a box, light the box on fire, and throw it into a bottomless abyss. I knew that abyss would come in handy one day. I love that. I'm just showing you the picture, not the words. And we have roots. I remember where I came from, for better or worse. I am grateful for the person I've become, either because of or perhaps despite my upbringing. As I move through life, I keep growing and changing, but I can't marvel at the magnitude of my journey without reflecting on where it all began. And you know, without my upbringing, I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now. I wouldn't have any of this wisdom to share. And we have flexibility. I am easygoing and always ready to follow the flow. When plans change, as they often do, when that one relative is around, I'll hop on board right away. When someone asks something of me, which is often the case when that one relative visits, I'll do it without complaint. And later, in the quiet of my meditation corner, I'll silently call them fill in the blanks, whatever you would call them behind their back, I guess. These cards are meant to be funny. Calm down. I take ownership for how I make others feel, and I do my part to repair any bridges I might have burned or perhaps even slightly singed. If bridge mending feels impossible, then I can start small. Instead of becoming a bridge architect, maybe I'll just skip the bridge and walk the long way around. Taking ownership is great for burning calories. And we have faith. I know in my heart that everything will turn out fine, better than fine, awesome. So I'm willing to have faith and trust that anything that isn't awesome will eventually lead me to something that is. But I'm ready for awesome whenever you are, universe. You hear me? Awesome. I love these cards. They're so sassy. Anyway, I'm going to leave that here on my soul tribe. No. I'm being told to get one of these. Oh, I opened right up to "You Are So Beautiful." So that's the one I'm going to read to you. You may not see your own beauty, but I sure do. Today I want to remind you, because you've likely gotten so used to yourself that you may not see the amazing things that I do. The spark of light in your eyes, your unique features, and their harmony. And you know what? Other people see it too. Begin to look for your beauty inside and out, and I will begin to send you more and more experiences that reflect your beauty. Focus on beauty wherever you go, and it will be shown more and more to you. Interesting. I have to, soul tribe reading, I don't believe in accidents. I don't believe in accidents. This card just entered your reading, and it says, they'll be back. Expect to hear from them soon. And I don't believe in accidents. Anyway. Begin to look for, and I don't mean the kind of beauty advertising will tell you about. I mean the pretty flowers growing by the side of the road, the stars in the night sky, the rainbow-colored birds in the trees, the pastel hues of the sunset. Nature is always beautiful, and so are you. The spectacular shade of blue your eyes may be, or the deep caramel color of your radiant skin, or the way your hair falls, the way your hair falls in cascading waves over your shoulder, or the way your smile lights up the room. Every single person on this planet has beauty in them. It's just a question of how you look for it. Comparison and the standard version of appearance will unfortunately blind you to your own beauty. You were deliberately made unlike anyone else. Begin watching for your own beauty and you will see it more and more. Plus, it will boost your life from the inside out, lifting your relationships into a more positive state. List 5 beautiful things about yourself right now. Oh my goodness, are we going to do that? There is always something, no matter what age or physical state you're in. Do you have smooth hands? Is your voice soothing to the ear? Do you move with grace? Are you a kind person? The more you look for beauty, the more you can make it bloom. I can't wait. I can't wait to see you experience this, explore this, whatever that says. Beautiful. Love the universe. So, 5 things that you find beautiful about yourself. If you feel brave enough, you can stick it in the comment section. If you don't, maybe I'll stick mine in the comment section. It'll probably be under not this YouTube name. It'll probably be under no, I'll go under this name. Never mind. I'll go under this name. That way it's not confusing. Oh my gosh, I have to go. Remember to show yourself love and that you're lovely and that I love you and that I'll see you tomorrow. This feels weird. Just kidding. No way could I leave you that abruptly. That just didn't feel right. That just didn't feel right to me. It felt like that just didn't feel right. Anyway, so if you're feeling called to write 5 things about yourself that you love, that are beautiful about yourself, doesn't have to be physical beauty, but it can be if you want it to be. In my comment section, you should, and I will do the same. And, I already said I love you, but I didn't feel right just running off like that. So be sure to take some moments to reflect today on how amazing you are and how you deserve to take up space in this world, and find a few things, if you can, to be grateful for, not just about yourself, but about your day, about the world in general. And yeah, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being my friend. Golden Girls, right? And remember that card. That was weird how it just whoop, came right into your reading. But I'm sending you guys lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. I just can't miss a day. Bye. Someone said, have a good vacation. I'll miss you. I'm not going away for like 18, 19 more days. So don't worry. You still have a few weeks of me. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow, friend. I love you. Kiss. Bye.